First Lady Intisar al-Sisi praises volunteers as a force for hope. Egypt's foreign minister discusses regional issues with his Russian counterpart. And Egypt says the Cairo Declaration reaffirms Mediterranean partners' commitment to protecting marine and coastal environments. Egypt's First Lady Intisar al-Sisi has praised volunteers as the true force that creates hope and builds a more humane society. In her social media posts marking International Volunteer Day, Intisar al-Sisi expressed appreciation for those she said have made giving way of life. She thanked volunteers for being a light in other people's lives and for the hands that helped, the hearts and embraced, and the efforts that made differences. Egypt's Foreign Minister Abad Abdulati has traveled to Doha to take part in the Doha Forum with meetings planned on regional developments and bilateral cooperation. The Foreign Ministry said Abdulati will attend the Doha Forum on December 6th and 7th and is set to hold a series of bilateral meetings with participating foreign ministers and officials. The talks are expected to focus on boosting cooperation, exchanging views on key regional and international issues, and coordinating positions on developments in the region, including efforts to support stability and advance peace and development tracks. Egypt's foreign minister has held a phone call with Russia's foreign minister to discuss bilateral cooperation and regional files, including Gaza. Foreign Minister Abad Abdulati spoke with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov as part of ongoing consultations between Cairo and Moscow. Egypt said the two reviewed strategic ties and growing cooperation, especially in trade and economic areas, and stressed pushing ahead with joint projects led by the El Daba nuclear power plant. The call also covered developments in Gaza, with Abdulati stressing implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 2803 and advancing Phase 2 of US President Donald Trump's peace plan. He also underlined the need to enable the International Stabilization Force to carry out its mission to consolidate the ceasefire. Egypt's Agriculture Research Center has signed an EU-backed cooperation protocol to train 400,000 wheat farmers in 5 Delta governorates on modern farming practices. The protocol, signed on the sidelines of the Soil Day events, assigns the Agriculture Research Center to deliver large-scale training aimed at improving wheat quality and productivity. The program focuses on certified seeds, wider use of modern machinery, better storage methods, and sustainable resource management. A broad awareness campaign is also planned across the targeted Delta areas, implemented in partnership with the Italian Agency for Development Cooperation and coordinated with agricultural extension bodies ahead of full rollout starting in the 2025-2026 season. Egypt says the Cairo Ministerial Declaration under the Barcelona Convention has reaffirmed Mediterranean partners' commitment to protecting marine and coastal environments and ensuring sustainable use of the sea's resources. Acting Environment Minister Manal Awad said the declaration underlines sustainable use of the Mediterranean and its marine and coastal resources as a cornerstone for stability, prosperity, and sustainable development. She said the meeting marked key anniversaries for the UN Mediterranean Action Plan and the post-Rio Barcelona Convention, highlighting progress and renewed resolve to tackle emerging threats. Howard added that participants stressed multilateral cooperation, stronger environmental governance, and collective solutions to advance a sustainable blue economy, alongside accessible financing, capacity building, technical assistance, and technology transfer. She also welcomed the expected entry into force of the BBNJ agreement as a major step to protect biodiversity beyond national jurisdictions. Egypt's health ministry says it has screened more than 7.18 million primary school students for anemia, obesity, and stunting since early October. The ministry said the presidential initiative has examined 7,180,832 students since it launched on October 5, 2025, covering pupils in about 29,000 public and private schools nationwide. The screenings include height, weight, and hemoglobin checks coordinated with the Education Ministry. Officials said any detected cases are referred to health insurance clinics for further tests and free treatment, with each student receiving a follow-up card to support ongoing monitoring. The ministry added that around 2,000 trained medical teams are taking part across the school years. Alongside health awareness sessions, and public inquiries can be made through hotlines 105 and 106. Cairo University has held a major celebration for the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, highlighting expanded support for students with disabilities across campus. The university said the event was held at the Grand Celebration Hall in cooperation with the Hayat Karima Foundation, with senior university leaders, faculty members, and a large number of students with special needs and their families attending. University President Mohammed Sami Abdul Sadiq said Cairo University is working with national institutions and civil society partners to strengthen inclusion, and that the administration is prioritizing disability support by providing services and care in multiple areas. He also praised the university's disability services and support centers for its role in assisting students. Egypt's Supreme Committee for Medical Liability and Patient Safety says it has approved new measures to activate the 2025 medical liability law with greater efficiency and transparency. In its second meeting, the committee said it is preparing standardized informed consent forms tailored to each medical specialty, starting with an initial model for surgical fracture treatment. It also reviewed its first complaint and agreed guidelines to strengthen future assessments. The committee said it has set mechanisms to receive complaints from legally authorized bodies, including the public prosecution, and complaints on their legal representatives, and agreed a framework for how subcommittees will examine cases, stressing speed, technical accuracy, and legal deadlines. It also called for public awareness campaigns and training for healthcare providers on rights and duties under the new law, and recommended forming a supporting technical secretariat to handle the growing workload. Egypt's health minister Khaled Abdel Ghaffar says respiratory diseases are a rising health and economic burden as Egypt hosts a two-day scientific conference on chest and lung conditions. Speaking at the opening of the 24th Annual Scientific Conference of Egypt's Scientific Society for Respiratory Airways, Abdel Ghaffar said the political leadership places exceptional importance on health reforms and on respiratory diseases in particular amid growing global challenges. He warned chronic respiratory illnesses are increasing, with global pandemics recurring roughly every 6 to 7 years. He cited global figures saying chronic obstructive pulmonary disease accounts for about 5% of worldwide deaths, with asthma causes more than 1,000 deaths a day. He urged stronger action on smoking, air quality and pulmonary rehabilitation, and called for deeper regional and international scientific cooperation to improve care and health policy. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has held talks with ministers and officials on measures to curb goods smuggling at entry points in a move aimed at protecting Egyptian industry. The meeting reviewed steps to meet targets in the anti-smuggling file, including regulations to tighten control over all types of entry points and strengthen inspection and monitoring procedures. Officials said that the aim is to prevent attempts to smuggle goods that could harm local manufacturing while ensuring a more organized flow of legitimate trade through ports and border crossings. Finance Minister Ahmed Kojak says Egypt will roll out a second tax incentive package in December aimed at improving the business climate and rewarding compliant taxpayers. Speaking after the weekly cabinet meeting, Kojak said the new package will offer added benefits for what he called committed business partners. Measures include creating a white list, issuing an excellence card, and providing priority access to specialized services. He said additional incentives will also be offered to taxpayers who meet compliance requirements as the government seeks to boost confidence and support investments. Egypt has signed a new offshore oil exploration and production agreement in the East Gaza area with a minimum investment topping $30 million. Petroleum Minister Karim Badawi signed the deal between the Egyptian General Petroleum Corporation and Pico Petroleum for East Gaza offshore. The agreement includes a minimum investment of more than $30 million plus a $1 million signing bonus tied to drilling 4 new wells. Badawi said the project supports the ministry's strategy to intensify crude oil exploration, discover new reservoirs, boost production capacity, strengthen local output, and help reduce Egypt's imports bill. Egypt's Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Karim Badawi met with Huda Mansour, Managing Director of Sukari Gold Mines, and representatives of the Anglo Gold Ashanti to explore ways to strengthen cooperation and increase investment in Egypt. The discussions focused on boosting gold production, accelerating exploration in newly licensed areas under an updated gold and mineral exploitation agreement, and positioning Egypt as an attractive destination for large-scale mining investments. Talks also covered collaboration on training Egyptian geologists and mining engineers, improving occupational safety, environmental protection, and adopting best practices from Anglo Gold Ashanti, reinforcing its role as a strategic partner in Egypt's mining sector. Business conditions in Egypt's non-oil private sector improved in November, with cost pressures easing and slower price increases. The S&P Global Egypt PMI rose to 51.1, marking the first expansion since February and the highest level since October 2020. Firms reported the fastest increases in output and new orders in 5 years, aligning with historical GDP growth of over 5%. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin from Egypt. But before we wrap up, here is a recap of the top stories making headlines this hour. First Lady Intisar Sisi praises volunteers as a force for hope. Egypt's foreign minister discusses regional issues with his Russian counterpart. And Egypt says the Cairo Declaration reaffirms Mediterranean partners' commitment to protecting marine and coastal environments. For more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Qnews EGY. From all of us here, many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Qnews.